Hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll get going in just a minute here. Feel free to say hi in the chat. And also, I would be curious if I recognize most names. I would be curious if it's anybody's first webinar tonight.
Hello. Oh, can't hear you. Oh dear. Can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
It's these earbuds, ear things. I know everybody wears them. I don't know. Guess I'm just too old. Do it the old-fashioned way.
Hmm.
Uh,
That's okay.
Um,
Can
anyway, so
hear
I've been talking to myself, I guess. Uh, I was
you.
just saying, welcome to everyone. And Sadie's here for the first time, and that's great. Always good. And better late than never. We're coming into the end of our season here. So I'm really excited to get into our topic tonight. I think it's going to be kind of fun. And we were going, this was supposed to be our year-end celebration. And what do you know? We've got two more webinars tacked on. So we've got Sarah Robbins talking about IBS, irritable bowel, on Wednesday night at 6. And then Juliet is going to come in and do something that a workshop she's been planning and creating. And I think it's going to be very powerful. That is next Tuesday at 11. And the mindfulness and movement classes are finishing up this week. So yeah, so it's not goodbye tonight. Can everybody hear?
I can. Yeah, it's all
Okay,
good.
you're having some trouble. Maybe just check your settings and your volume. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be a fun topic. But before that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark to get us started.
Right. Well, good evening to everybody. Welcome to Madeline. Thank you so much for putting on this fun, light-hearted topic way of sort of ending, but it's not really fun and light-hearted. I mean, pain is, as we all know, people really battle with it. But this is an interesting approach. It's just another, it's an approach, and if we can, rise up to it, it's just another way of reducing some of the stress and, burden and the pain of suffering. So really happy that Madeline's doing it this evening on pleasure and joy. And just to all our patients, a warm welcome from the clinic. Just ask that you put comments in the chat box and just be respectful for one another. Madeline will address those towards the end of the workshop tonight. And other than that, we all know Madeline. I'm going to turn it over to her.
Okay, great. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have had quite a year. I was going to count up the number of Monday night webinars that we've done this year, but I want to acknowledge, all of you, first of all, for showing up, for being here. If you came once, if you came three, if you came 5, 20 times, that you're open to maybe learning something new or having a new perspective. And we've done so many different topics, and all of them are related to living with chronic pain and hopefully improving your situation, feeling more perhaps control over your experience, uh, working with the nervous system, because if you remember, I know you've heard this 1,000 times, that all pain is processed in the spinal cord and the brain, which is very contrary to what we used to think in the medical world. And so it opens up so many more options to be able to find something that works for you, because each and every one of you is living in a different nervous system with a different set of characteristics, so many different flavors, and different types of pain, and no one person is the same. So we hope to give enough options that to let you know there is no one right way. It's going to be something that you experiment with, that you see what works for you. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but sometimes you kind of go up this path for a while and it seems to be, work helpful. And then you switch and go a different direction and you start doing something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's just the way that everything evolves, including us, including our bodies. So this is just another way. And the title was it was joy, and it was fun and pleasure as an as a treatment for pain. And then I switched to joy and pleasure as a treatment for pain, because what we really want to shift, well, what we have the option of shifting, is how we feel in our emotions, in our body, and even in the face of pain. Now, I want to say from the get-go that there are days where you throw in the towel, right? You just say, I'm not doing any of this stuff. This is a high pain day. I'm just going to take some medications and do my best, or go to bed, or put some heat on, put some cold on. So there is no pressure, or we don't want to create more tension. And there are days, have you guys had them, where nothing seems to work? And I really, invite you to not beat yourself up, because that just, it creates more tension. But hopefully there's enough options that this might be something new, something different for you to try in the face of pain. So let's get started. I will. I've just, since it's nearing the end of our time, I have our time together for the summer. I have just made a few slides, and then we're just going to move into some practices. So Susan, who was here last Monday, who did Qigong with us, when I presented with her at that conference, she talked a lot about this, and she talked a lot about the science of this, which was really compelling. So if you need to see me and you can't see me right now, just change your view to gallery view, and then you'll be able to see a face. I always like to see a face. to see a face as well as the slide. And if not, don't worry. Um, I when I heard the science of it, it really piqued my interest once again, because this is not just about it's never just about, put on a happy face, put on a smile, appreciate the good things in your life, just be grateful. I'm sure some of you have been told that at different times, like just be grateful. You've got so many good things going on in your life. And I'd be curious, how does that make you feel when you're having a tough time? Have you ever approached someone and you're having a hard day, you're having a tough time in your life, and they start pointing out all the positive things and, well, you should be grateful. Yes, there are all these things to be grateful for, always, but this is my experience right now, right? So it's never just to cover up or pretend that things are okay. And this is the beauty of this practice, is that a lot of you have been here for some time. And so you are developing the capacity to be able to hold two or three or four different things in your awareness at the same time. And that really is, I believe, the key to an evolved person, to say it's not just so this way or that way, but it can be both. So, yeah, exactly. They don't understand my body. They don't know what's going on inside of you. And people, um, uh, they try their best and trying to say something that makes sense sometimes, and it doesn't always, we know it doesn't always come out like that. It makes me feel small, stupid, and as though I'm wrong. Yes. So being wrong for being sad, or being wrong for being angry, being wrong for not coping or not feeling like you're coping very well. But I know you're all warriors out there. But yeah, wrong for not just plowing through. Yeah. So we never want to discount, you guys know this. We never want to discount all of those things, right? And we can add into our experience also joy and pleasure, and those small tiny things that we've talked about throughout the year, that we can add into our experience in any given moment. And that's what we're unpacking tonight. Sometimes it's not even words, but the look that they give. Oh, yeah. Don't looks speak louder than words, don't they? You're right, David. They're trying to help. They're trying to say the right thing, and yeah, right. I have a friend who's recovering from a double lung transplant. Yes, makes me remember things could be worse. Absolutely. So there's always that, because humans have such a wide breadth of experience. And some and even from day to day, moment to moment, it varies, doesn't it? All right, so let's dive in here. Okay, I hope that some of you, at least, I hope it's not just me that is a Schitt's Creek fan, because when I start watching little clips from Schitt's Creek, I can't stop laughing. And so that's one of my doorways into what we're going to talk about tonight. Oh, good, I'm not the only one. Love it. So here's Moira Rose, who hopefully some of you know and love, who says, I've been gutted. I will never be able to speak like her. I've been gutted. I've been stripped of every morsel of pleasure I've earned in this life. So again, we're bringing in humor, not to make fun of anything or belittle anything, but to bring in something a little bit more lighthearted. So I am curious for you, as we begin, what comes up for you as I'm talking about seeking joy and pleasure in the face of living with pain? So just check out how it lands for you. Okay, we've got some ideas. Music. Yeah. I'm curious if any of you are thinking, you know what, Madeline? That's impossible. Or I forget what that even is. I forget what it feels like to feel joy or pleasure. We got some great ideas coming in already. Fantastic. So I just want to get these beliefs out there, just in case some of you are sitting back and thinking these things, okay? I can't possibly find pleasure. I'm in pain. So I do understand this. Or it feels really difficult. Feels difficult for me to reach for joy and pleasure. Or perhaps only on good pain days. On good pain days, I can reach for it. And some of you might think I have forgotten actually how to laugh. I have forgotten what it feels like to have a good belly laugh. Okay. So, oh, wow. Okay, we've got the ideas coming in here. That's great. Music, funny TV show, Pet the Pooch, nature, exercise, laughter, jokes. So good. It feels light, doesn't it? And no matter where you're at in your journey, you still have the right to all of these things: music, drumming, grounding in nature, watching comedians, nature. I feel myself laugh sometimes and remind my inner wee person, you're allowed. It doesn't mean my pain is not real. I think that is such a powerful statement. Because we're talking about this, it doesn't mean that pain is not real and that some days pain is high. But yeah, it doesn't mean that it's not real. I'll leave it at that. So let's clear this out. What have you been told about joy and pleasure? And Moira Rose says, absolutely not. I hope that's not what you are saying. Some of us have been brought up in an environment that says you have to earn it. If you're going to relax and be on the couch, you better have worked hard today. Or I don't deserve it to feel good, to feel joy and pleasure. Maybe people don't want to be around me unless I am happy and joyful. So when I'm not, I isolate. So, in other words, it's conditional. In other words, being happy and joyful has conditions attached to it. These are all myths, by the way. These are actually not true. And if you don't work hard or do something, you can't relax at night. So this is all around effort and deserving pleasure. So all of these things are actually not true. I have to earn it. You don't have to earn joy and pleasure. A baby doesn't come into the world having to earn his or her happiness. You absolutely, you of all people, everybody deserves pleasure and joy. It is your right to find joy in your life. Um, People don't want to be around me unless that is a problem of society. It's a problem not just maybe of your people. Maybe it's not a problem with your people, but we do have a culture here, at least, that wants to see you on good days. We'll celebrate a wedding. We'll have a gathering for a wedding, but we won't have a gathering for a divorce. We'll have a gathering, a celebration of a birth, and we express ourselves. We don't necessarily express ourselves at a funeral. So we have a very kind of warped sense, and that's changing and shifting. And I hope it's been shifting in you over the year. We all deserve joy in our life, 100%, every single person. And I really like this unlearning that I can have more than one feeling at a time. Yes. And that is a sign of emotional intelligence. I can love someone and be really angry at them. I can feel a lot of grief and sadness, and I can feel relief at the same time. And in fact, any close, intimate relationships actually involve multiple emotions, and it's all okay. Let's just face it, having pain sucks. Like we can't, we can't, um, what's the word? Like rose color it. We can't cover it up. We can't, uh, pretend that it's not there. It is what it is. You might be in pain every day, but are you going to wait? And I don't think you guys are to access pleasure until pain goes away. I'll feel good when pain goes away. I'll buy myself that new thing when pain goes away. I'm going to invite you to turn that around and don't wait another minute. Don't wait another minute to access the pleasure that's available to you. Moira Rose says, I don't find that. I don't find it at all pleasurable. Can't believe I found quotes that fit with her. Sharon, great book reference. Great. Oh, yeah. You mean like Let's Face It, Pain Sucks? Yeah, yeah. I would never have pleasure. I missed the book reference. Teresa asks. Oh, Teresa, I think you're just sending messages to me, but that's okay. Um, Such a shift in thinking to self-care now. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, so good. So let's talk about making joy part of your routine. So you've got many things to your routine. You wake up, maybe you've got certain things that you do, certain things that you have breakfast or coffee, or if you're like Moira Rose, you put on your sunglasses and you have your coffee in bed. Um, but what about making joy and pleasure an actual priority, a mandatory part of your routine? So, what if, no matter what, you put joy in your morning wake up routine? So, however, maybe it means getting up if you have to get somewhere, getting up a few minutes early. Um, and we've already had a lot of really wonderful suggestions. What about giving yourself some supportive thoughts? What about, just actually talking to yourself, even if you have to look in the mirror? You know what? Let's say, Sharon, you know what? I think we're going to be okay today. We're going to take it easy. We're going to move through one thing at a time. We're going to find some really pleasurable things, and there's going to be some really great moments today, even though I'm feeling like this. So really support yourself in this. You might choose to do, somebody mentioned breath work. I would absolutely do at least three deeper, slower belly breaths before you get out of bed. Um, you just end up shifting your nervous system that little bit before your foot goes on the ground. And you're already starting to shift your chemicals in your brain, to shift your neural pathways towards the good. Okay. Uh, some people use affirmations, like giving yourself a pat on the back. We can do this. It's going to be okay. You've been through a lot before. You're doing well. You're doing good. Some people like to use maybe a nice scented soap. Scent is one of the first senses to reach the pleasure area in your brain. So if you are a person that is not too sensitive to scents, or maybe there's one scent that you enjoy, absolutely you're shifting brain patterns if you bring that in to perhaps your morning routine. A gentle stretching, don't try to rush and then beat yourself up because you're already run into some pain. Gently stretch, gently move, make your movement your practice. So Teresa does 15 minutes of Qigong. I love that. There's so much evidence for, as we know now, Qigong for pain. A total oxytocin focus, total oxytocin, because this is the antidote to the cortisol and adrenaline that pumps up the pain response, right? Sing. Oh, that's such a great idea to actually start singing or using your voice in some way, because then you're activating your vagus nerve. There's a science behind all the stuff that you guys are saying. I don't need to tell you that because you already know what feels good. Music, having a slow cup of tea, all of those things. Spend some time nurturing joy. So, joy, pleasure is your own prescription for endorphins. So you might wake up, go to your medicine cabinet and pull out the Tylenol. But before you do that, why not open up your own medicine cabinet inside your own body? You have the ability to produce endorphins. That's how amazing you are. Endorphins fight pain. There are the body's natural painkillers. They're released by the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in response to pain or stress. And this group of hormones that we call peptide hormones both relieves pain and creates a general feeling of well-being. So this is what gets activated. Aren't our bodies amazing? That we can activate ourselves to counteract pain. Now, is it going to come out like like a war zone and just like beat pain away? No, but it's going to gently influence parts of your neural pathways, whether you want it to or not. You don't have to will it, you just have to do it. So, endorphins increase during pleasurable activities, experiencing love, laughter, any activity that you find truly pleasurable. And so this is where the prescription is going to be different for everybody. And you're going to perhaps try different things. And as we know, just like with medications, sometimes something works for a while and then your brain wants something different. Because brains always, they want to expand and they love novelty. So trying something new, trying something you haven't done before is going to it's going to excite your brain to make a new neural pathway. What you can do, and is just an idea, you can layer them one on top of another or one after another. And I would encourage you to binge on pleasure when you feel like it. So it might include taking a gentle walk, chatting with a friend, eating chocolate, taking a walk chatting with a friend, eating chocolate, in between eating, taking some deep breaths and laughing. So that sounds like a lot, but this is what I mean by kind of like layering. As you lie in bed, you might put on some gentle music, breathe some nice lavender, do some breath work, and then move into some gentle stretches. So I think you get the idea. Yeah, I love to hang out with people who make me laugh about anything, 100%. Andrew, the recording's up on the website. So in any situation, there's red and there is blue. This is something that we use in somatic therapy, in something called somatic experiencing. It's a trauma therapy started by someone called Peter Levine, and he's done a lot of work. He has one really great online program through Sounds True to to treat chronic pain. And this type of therapy always starts out, they just use the colors red and blue. So red being pain, emotional or physical pain, and blue meaning safety, pleasure, rest and relaxation or joy. So, in order to be able to move in this therapy into the areas of pain or the areas of trauma, one of the essential foundations is to find all the blue first, to always have your one foot in the blue, one foot in the safety of the body, one foot in the pleasure, and anchoring that in so that a person can process or experience or deal with the red. So it might be anchoring in the blue of even memories. So anything that you can access, it might be anchoring in, looking out into nature. So it is almost like a grounding ground yourself in the blue so that you can better cope with the red. And the red tends to, meaning the activation, tends to decrease over time when we're grounded in the blue. So the blue can mean sometimes, you know, our bodies can be can feel like a dangerous place. I'll just say that. Whether it's emotional, whether it's trauma, whether it's pain. And so we might not even start there. For some people, they can anchor right into their breath and that feels safe to them. But that's not true for everybody. And if you are someone that just can't find a place in your body that feels safe or feels okay, then anchor outside of yourself. Anchor into a picture, into a conversation with someone, anchor into nature. So many, many options. And the idea is that no matter how terrible the moment feels, there is always blue as well. This is an and, not a but. But I'm in pain. I can't experience that. Now this is an and this might be a stretch to expand to include more than the threat, more than the pain in your brain, right? More than those neural pathways and the pain in your body. What did I want to say about that? We really learned a lot, particularly in pain therapy and trauma therapy, from the lessons from people who had the worst life experiences. People who lived in concentration, who were in concentration camps during the Second World War, have written extensively about this. Viktor Frankl, Dr. Edith Eger is one of my favorites. She's a psychologist. That even in the worst situations you could possibly imagine, there was still a thread of blue somewhere. And so I always go to that and I think, wow, if these people could do it, I can do it too. I can find it. So, yeah, yes, David, I think you have to, from feeling broken to feel like I'm mending. Yeah. So we don't jump right to, I'm doing great. I'm, maybe you are. If you are, you are. But we can't talk our nervous system into something that doesn't feel real. That feels like a very wise step. I'm moving from feeling broken to feeling like I'm mending. I am mending. I'm mending and healing every day. There's going to be ups and downs. I'm doing okay. You know, if these things feel true for you, that is better, one step better than feeling broken, right? So move at the speed of safety in your nervous system. Cautiously optimistic. I like that. Um, it's quite a battle when your pain is really on you. Absolutely. So hard to find the sense of humor. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. Don't force yourself. You don't need to find a sense of humor. That's not required. You might try something absolutely different, or you might try what we're going to be moving into is some simple pleasure practices and some laughter yoga, laughter for no reason at all other than giving you can be serious and it was nothing funny to laugh at and you can still laugh and give yourself a good dose, give yourself a shot of endorphins. So no sense of humor needed, I promise you. So then we want to look at the end of the day. Now, this little guy or girl does not look like they are ready for bed, but design the most pleasurable bedtime routine you can possibly imagine. I will, caveat, there are days where you just want to take all your meds, get to bed, turn off the lights, and pray for a good night's sleep, right? We always allow for that. But how many things can you add in? Take a little bit of extra time, dial back when you start your routine. Maybe turn off TV, other things a little bit earlier. And all the things that were mentioned earlier tonight already in the chat, start lining them up. Not because it's something, oh, I've got to do this now. Now I've got to do all these things before I get to bed. No, not that, uh, not with that kind of energy, but more like I am going to ultimately look after my body so well for the hour before I go to sleep, no matter what's happening, because I deserve it. It's tiring living with pain. And I'm going to give myself as much as I can before I go to bed. And again, there's no requirements around this. You guys work with it as it makes sense for you. Warm drinks, bath, music, breathing, reading. Give yourself nice clean sheets. Get somebody else to change them, because that's kind of sometimes quite, physical. Make sure the temperature is right. Get yourself a nice pair of PJs. You might do some journaling. You might journal out your day as if you're talking to yourself. Like, I had a really crappy day. This is what happened. And also writing out some gratitude. The power of gratitude in your mind to shift away from the fear-based thoughts of pain that come with the package of pain is very powerful. Okay. So what pleasures will you start adding into your day? There are literally billions available to you. And what I would suggest is to just take perhaps one new thing, maybe two, that's something that grabbed you tonight, something maybe that somebody said in the chat, or something that I listed, and just add those in. Maybe buy yourself something really nice to look forward to wake up to have for breakfast. There's so many things available that if we just start adding in one or two, that's all. You're going to give the message to your body that you are worth taking care of, that you are worth experiencing that self-care and that self-love and that pleasure. And when you start to experience that, you start to shift things. It is a big step forward. Yeah. learning to appreciate self enough to do these things. So this would I would say this is not just for people in pain, but even more so because you're up against something big, right? But I think this is probably true for most human beings to start shifting towards themselves, to say, you know what, if I don't love myself, if I don't look after myself, this is the body that I'm going to be living in for this, while I'm here. And starting to feel that relationship with yourself so much so that you naturally start looking after yourself. Allowing myself to poach duck eggs. Okay. Allow myself to say no if I'm not feeling up to doing something. That is super self-care. That is self-love in action for sure, Marjorie. Okay. So I think we've gone over enough of the suggestions for how to do that. I know this is not new for a lot of you, but when I heard about how much endorphins you can get from doing simple activities like this, and it actually is your natural opiate, um, I think, like Peter Levine says, you have to have the blue in order to be able to treat or manage the red. All right, so stick with me and let's do some endorphin boosting right now. So if that doesn't make you laugh, I don't know. There's something about babies laughing. It's a natural oxytocin for the body, isn't it? Like you can just feel the joy. So making pleasure a priority for maximum endorphins. So there really isn't a maximum dose of endorphins. I don't think you can overdose on natural endorphins. So let's move into a pleasure practice and joy practice. All right. So was that fun? Such innocent pleasure, hey? And we were all born like that. We were all born with this natural ability to laugh. So no matter what your body is feeling like today, let's just pause for a moment. And right now, can you make yourself just really take note of how you're sitting, where you're sitting, how you're feeling on the outside and the inside? And is there anything you can do right now to tell your body, I'm here, I'm looking after you, and I'm making you more comfortable? Can you make yourself 10% more comfortable? So I notice that I'm perched forward. I'm going to lean back a little bit. I might just face this way because I've got a window here. What would make you feel? Your body. Have take a little sip of tea. Oxytocin is a mom or a dad caring for their baby releases oxytocin. When we care for ourselves, we release the same chemical, the same hormone. All right. So just take a moment and we're going to just take 3 deeper, slower breaths. So these are always. So feel your feet on the floor or wherever you are. You might just wiggle your toes a little bit. It gives your body that now, here, present moment orientation. And now take a deep breath, perhaps through your nose, and let it go out of your mouth. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. All right, let's do that again. Nice deep into your belly, into your chest. Deep breathing sends that message. This body is safe. Let it go. Let it go. Relax any muscle tension if you feel yourself bracing as best as you can today. And the last one, we're going to let it out with some sound. So an ah, breath in. Biggest one you've had all week, maybe all month. And ah, let the sound sink down, down into your belly. So we're moving a little bit deeper. Sound is really good vibration for the inside of your body. Okay, so we're going to take our hands and just bring them to the top of your head and start to feel or massage the top of your head as if you were touching a baby's head. You just love that. Or your dog's head. Don't they love that too? Everybody. And then bringing your hands around to the front of your face, especially if you suffer with tension headaches, migraine. Just starting to look after our body. Just start massaging your temples, maybe moving down to your jaw. Good. And then up above the eyes and down below the eyes. Why below the eyes? Because it's attached to the vagus nerve that relaxes your nervous system. Okay. So take your hands and just cup them around your face. Just like this. It's like holding your face in a little hug. Good. And we're gonna rub our hands together and bring your hands to your body. And in a sweeping motion, just sweep down your arms. And just gently, slowly. Touch, any kind of touch. Just see what feels good for you, even just on your, maybe just a light touch on your arms. And you might even come to those places where, you've got some shoulder pain and you just bring, a healing hand there. And then sweeping motions, maybe down on your thighs, down towards your knees. Again, is how we let our babies know that we're here. We're here. We're looking after you. You're safe. Okay. Good. And now we're going to do something fun. We're going to move into laughter. This is totally awkward and and very powerful. So laughter, I mean, obviously watch comedies, find funny things on YouTube that really make you laugh. And again, for me, it's Schitt's Creek. I love it. But you can also just do the action of laughter and you get the same effect. So just, if there's people in your house, you might do it later so you're not self-conscious, or do it when you're out on in your car by yourself. But we can do it in a fun way. So first of all, I want you to just pretend that you're introducing yourself to someone, but instead of saying your name, you're going to do it with laughter. So it's going to look like something like this. And if I had you all in the room, I would have you shake hands. It's going to be like, okay? So I'm the only one that anybody can see here. Nobody can see you, but I hope that you're doing it with me. Okay, here we go. Introduce yourself. Feel that motion of laughter. Okay, laughter for no reason. And now we are going to, I hope I'm recording, yes, so you can do this later. We're going to pretend that we're getting in an airplane. And the first thing we're going to do is take down the oxygen mask. So take down the oxygen mask and it goes like this. So it's laughing gas. Okay, everybody do it with me. Take down the oxygen mask. can keep going with that all night, by the way. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is put on our seatbelts. So we're going to take our seatbelts and put it on our belly. And it's going to look like this. Seatbelt. Kind of like a Santa laugh. So we're going deep into the belly. Take your dose of medicine here. I really like that one. So I feel so much better after I laugh. Okay. So the next and the last one that we're going to do is I'm going to show you the exits. This is just a fun way to do laughter on the airplane. So like this. So we got the front, the middle, and the back. Okay, everybody do it with me, please. Oh my God. It's so ridiculous and it's so fun. And anybody can do that. If you find your there's so many other ways that we could do it, but I think you get the point. And already I feel kind of light. I feel lighter. I feel, thanks for the emojis. I feel more lightheaded. Last Christmas, not the one last one, but the one before, we did a whole hour of laughter yoga with the pain clinic. I don't know where the recording is. I think it's up there. After an hour of that, I promise you, it you feel like a different person. And I realized that I had access to this to feel lighter when nothing around me had changed except for me. So what a great thing to do in a staff meeting. Absolutely. I honestly, every meeting should just start with that because when you're in that part of the brain, you start to think differently. And again, it's going to be, you don't have to do this, if you're having a really bad day, never feel like you. It might be something you try, but there's no requirement. You start to access bigger ideas, more positive, like forward moving thoughts start coming. My cheeks hurt, my face ones. That was messaged to me. That's funny. I went to a laughter workshop once and came away with a laughter CD, a variety of laughs, which are quite contagious. Wonderful. Mm. I would bet that even if you played that CD, that it would, um, that it would trigger something, some happy hormones inside of you, just hearing people laugh, you know? And this is not what you find when you turn on the news. You don't hear about all the people that are laughing in the world today. You hear about the people that are not laughing. And so, yes, there are the people that are not laughing and have situations that are absolutely horrific. And this is an and we have access to the positive emotions that counteract stress and pain in our body, the positive hormones, I should say. So those are probably the fastest ways to get the endorphins flowing. If your body is up for exercise, short periods of exercise are also really valuable. But pleasure, pleasure, pleasure as another treatment for pain. So I'll just pause there and just see, yeah, if there's any questions coming up, any other comments. We need to learn the words from the song "I Love to Laugh" from Mary Poppins, Stephen. Yeah, yeah. And it seems it can feel like, well, I didn't really think about this because we're in pain and suffering, but it um It's worth looking at. Again, you have to have the blue to cope with the red. Such a shift in thinking and learning to look inward for some relief. Yes, rather than looking outward for answers and support. Love thyself. Yeah. To thine own self be true, as Shakespeare says. It is a shift. This is the probably the shift that even when you're getting relief from the pain clinic and maybe your medications are working and the injections are providing relief, there is still this piece of participation in your own nervous system that will sustain all those good effects from from medications. And sometimes we can then start to reduce medications, but in the end, that's the goal is to just do what's right for your own body. That's right. Blue deals with the red. Strangely enough, we're not really taught that, are we? Takes time, practice, and perseverance. Yes. And remember, it can be just short, small, just have a piece of chocolate when you get off here today, or a nice cup of tea. It can be just small things. It can be a little walk around the block. Um, just those things that keep us moving forward, right? Keep us moving forward no matter what. Yeah. Okay, so lovely. Thanks for being here, everyone. And again, we've got IBS on Wednesday for those of you that are coming then. And I do have another class that I'm going to be sending out. Juliet and I also work privately, right? We work also outside of the pain clinic. And I have a workshop coming up that the pain clinic has graciously allowed me to tell you guys about it and allow you to come in for no cost as part of the pain clinic. So I'm going to send that out to you as well. And that is Wednesday morning at 11. And it's called Loving Yourself Back to Life. So it kind of goes along with what we've been talking about here. And I just found out that I'm able to invite all of you as well as part of the pain clinic. And so I'll send that out with the recording to the people that are here tonight who are here. Yes, all recordings are posted on the website under past recordings. And if I've ever missed one, then just let me know, because sometimes, most of the time they do make it up there, but there might be the odd one that doesn't. So I won't say goodbye, but I wish you all a pleasurable end of your rest of your night. And I'll send this out tomorrow. And don't forget, this is the last week with Juliet. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, is mindfulness and relaxation for pain, if you'd like to join her. So hope everybody has a great night. And yeah, take care. Hmm. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, everyone.